welcome to part 2 of the Judas Priest ranking video. So, in the last part I ranked the 70s album from 1 to 5, my personal opinions and all that. So if you want to watch the video, just click on it. It should be somewhere down here in the description. But yeah, here is part 2 where I will rank the 80s albums. The last video was maybe not too controversial. This one may trigger some people, but it's just my personal opinions. So yeah, let's just start. So my first pick has to be Defenders of the Faith. I don't know, for the moment it's just so obvious. Yeah, I mean, for me it's perfect. I can't, it's like the same with Stained Glass. Just the all-around experience for me, it's perfect. I love it to death. Had it been a few years ago, or not even long ago, I would have maybe picked, like, of course, British Steel or Screaming for Vengeance, but I realized more and more that when I listen to Defenders of the Faith, I have so much more fun. I don't know, for me it's just like, if an album gives me more like pleasure in terms of, you know, where I have fun with each song, that just gives me more rather than like an album that is more well crafted, if you can say that. So yeah, like Stained Glass, I can't name a bad moment. All the songs just, you know, it's hit after hit after hit after hit. So yeah, for me, obvious number 1, but this list is 10 times more harder to rank than the 70s album, for me at least. Yeah, number 1. For number 2, I will go with Screaming for Vengeance, my previous favorite album from them. But that changed after, yeah, like I said, not that long ago, because when I found out about Judas Priest, this was immediately my favorite album. And it's like, it still is kind of, but like I said with Defenders of the Faith, I have more fun listening to that one. But with that said, this album is top tier as well. It's, yeah, I can't explain how great this is, but it has to go at number 2. But like, this is, you see the track list, it's yeah, it's so great. So if I could, I would have these ones at a shared number 1. But yeah, just awesome all around. Yeah. And for number 3, I have British Steel. And this one may be controversial to many, since this is by far the most common number 1 Judas Priest album among fans. And in terms of, you know, legendary status, this is of course a number 1. For me personally, it's number 3. But I can recognize, you know, personal favorites versus greatest, and this is, you know, this is their magnum opus, like it or not, and this is what really, you know, made them the band that they are today. It's so cool because this album has inspired so many other bands that started or already was active when this album was released. So yeah, number 3. I don't know if this is more controversial than British Steel, but I have, for number 4, I have Turbo. Not liked by many, especially, you know, the Judas Priest fan base itself. And I mean, when I started listening to Judas Priest, this was not my favorite album of theirs either. But the more I listened to their whole discography, this one just kept climbing and climbing and climbing. It has so many great songs, in my opinion. You know, Turbo Lover, of course, and then Out in the Cold is one of my favorites from this album. I mean, I listen to this a lot, both on my turntable and on Spotify, and it's also such a fun album. But yeah, I'm gonna put this at number 4. And for number 5, I have Ram It Down. Usually many people switch this one and Turbo, you know, put this one over Turbo, and it's totally fair. For me, Turbo Lover is just more, I use the word fun like a lot, I just throw it around, but it's like the one word I can explain, you know, my listening experience to Judas Priest. Just the word fun. That's it, the only thing I need. But yeah, fantastic album as well. If I'm not mistaken, Ram It Down and Turbo was supposed to be an album, you know, both of them as one album, but then they split them up for reasons I can't remember. I know I have read about this, but I can't remember. Awesome cover on the Johnny B. Good. You know, to hear that kind of song with Judas Priest spin on it, so fun. And I mean, the title track is just heavy. And also, Blood Red Skies is one of my favorite Judas Priest songs. So, special place in my heart, even though it's a bit lower on the list. But as I said in my previous video, Judas Priest is my favorite band. So, to rank their albums and put some albums, you know, to become worse than the others, it's hard, but number 4. And at last place, as many have, Point of Entry. And you know, even though I have this as the lowest on my list, it's still a great album to me. You know, I think the biggest problem is, or was, that it was released 1 year after British Steel. So, you know, it was overshadowed by an album that was more, it was selling better, it's a better album overall, of course. It was still kind of fresh, you know, just 1 year after, so I think this one is often overlooked. But it has some like great songs on it, like Heading Out to the Highway or Hot Rocking, Desert Plains. So do me a favor, if you haven't listened to this album, or if you haven't listened to this album for a while, you know, just because you think it's worse than some other Priest albums, do me a favor and just listen to it. It's not the best album, you know, but at least it's a solid Judas Priest album. Yeah. So yeah, that was the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I try to talk as much as I can about each album without being like, you know, too dragged out. Yeah, it's fun to rank, you know, Judas Priest albums since it's my favorite band. But I will of course, you know, rank other bands. I will pin other albums against each other, you know, like a little vinyl battle. I'll see how that works out. And also just comment if you have video ideas, because I am more than happy to get ideas. I have some ideas for the moment, but you know, the more the better, so I can switch it up once in a while and not only do ranking videos and stuff. But yeah, like I said, hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe and give the video a like. Share it to others who might be interested in vinyls. And I will see you in the next video. So bye.